Shalom, shalom. Infinite praise, glory, and honor be unto Yahweh, Bahashem, Yahushai, Bahashem Rakakwadash. Peace and double honor to the apostles and elders of Great Millstone. Shalom unto the elect. So I'm going to start off with the scripture right here in the book of Ezekiel. Ezekiel 33 and verse 33. Ezekiel 33 and 33. And when this cometh to pass, lo, it will come, then shall they know that a prophet hath been among them. So as we look at the geopolitical landscape, as we look at what's going on between Israel and Iran, which again, it's been said before, and we're going to say it again, through the Spirit of the Lord, our apostles have been saying that once Iran gets involved, that's when you know we're in the end game. That's when you know we're in the playoffs. That's when you know we're in the end of this thing, the end of this man's kingdom. And when we say this man, we're talking about the so-called white man. All right? Esau, Edom. Okay? So when this comes to pass, dealing with what? Prophecy. Okay? Then they will know that a prophet has been among them. So the only way to know who the prophets are is to watch for, well, who's declaring the prophecies right now? Well, the Christian church ain't doing it. The Muslims aren't doing it. All right, the small hats aren't doing it. Okay, the rappers aren't doing it. The celebrities aren't doing it. Okay, the politicians aren't doing it. The businessmen aren't doing it. So who's the ones declaring the prophecies? This is the question we got to ask, right? Jeremiah 28 and 8, the prophets that have been before me and before thee of old prophesied both against many countries and against great kingdoms of war and of evil and of pestilence. So that's the prophet's job. And whenever the Lord is getting ready to send a judgment on a kingdom, he'll set up his prophets. And oftentimes the Lord will judge his own people and also judge other nations. And he'll give the word to the prophet to declare it so that they don't have an excuse to say, well, they never heard it. This was not made known. No, it was made known. It was published. It was put on the internet. Innumerable amounts of videos, man. Think about all the videos that have come out since the Lord put the Spirit on the apostles to get on YouTube. That's a sign that we're at the end. Okay, so there's been thousands and thousands and thousands. You can't even count all the videos that have been put up about this truth, about who the real Israelites are, that the fact that it's the so-called blacks, Latinos, and Native Americans. So people can say that, you know, people will, well, the scripture says that the truth will be evil spoken of. People will say that we're not the, you know, we're not anointed, we're not chosen, we're not this. We say, Lord's will, we're called and chosen from the foundation of the earth. Okay, but remember, we are doing exactly what the prophets of old did. Okay, so it says again, the prophets that have been before me and before thee of old, okay, prophesied both against many countries and against great kingdoms of war and of evil and of pestilence, right? So this is what the prophets always did. War, evil, pestilence. This is what we're saying. This is why we mentioned the time of Jacob's trouble. You got other Israelite groups, they have mocked us for mentioning the time of Jacob's trouble. Jacob's trouble is gay, I think this dude said. Just nonsensical shit, you know. These guys, you know, they can't rub two brain cells together. You know, you got that saying, you can't rub two nickels together. You niggas, a lot of these niggas out there in these camps can't rub two brain cells together, man. Because if you could, you'd be able to tell that Jacob's trouble is real because the scripture mentioned it. We didn't just come up with that term on our own. The scriptures mentions the time of Jacob's trouble. Matter of fact, we can grab that while I'm here in Jeremiah. Jeremiah 30:7. All right, it says, alas, for that day is great, so that none is like it. It is even the time of Jacob's trouble, but he shall be saved out of it. Okay, so what is the time of Jacob's trouble? It is the time of tribulation. It is the time where the hour of temptation. All right, who's been prophesying about that? Who's been prophesying about the mark of the beast? You got other Israelite camps, they don't even make mention of that. A lot of these other camps, they're not really locked in when it comes to prophecy. They like to cut the so-called white man. That's fine and well, but got to declare these prophecies, man. Revelation 3:10, it says, because thou hast kept the word of my patience, I also will keep thee from the hour of temptation. Upon all the world to try them. Okay, I'll read it again. Revelation 3:10, because thou hast kept the word of my patience, which is what? This prophecy, the word of Yahweh Ba'ashem Yahushai, right? Okay, this word is likened unto a lamp, a light, a guidance, bread, food, water, everything that you need for life. This word is likened unto that. Because thou hast kept the word of my patience, I also will keep thee from the hour of temptation. So that means that because these men have kept the word of the Lord's patience, and patience means to suffer. So we are suffering for the witness of Yahweh Ba'ashem Yahushai. You know, the servant is not greater than his master. So we've been suffering for speaking these things. We have hazarded our lives from the apostles of Great Millstone, the elders, the bishops, on down. All right, we have hazarded our lives for this message, okay, that he may run that readeth it, right? So we ran with this message. The Lord gave us this message, and what did we do? He put the spirit on us to run with it, speak it, to keep speaking it, to consistently speak it, to diligently speak it. All right. So because we have kept that word, what did the Lord say he's going to do for us? I also will keep thee from the hour of temptation, right? Which is when that chip gets made mandatory, mandated. And that's how we know that even though things are going up with Israel and Iran, we are not, like, the end can't just pop up today or tomorrow, because we know that there's prophecies that still have to come to pass. Okay, now we don't know the exact day, but we can measure the time diligently and observe the times that we're living in through what? Through prophecy. Prophecy is the measuring stick of what time we're in. So the Lord said, what? There will be wars and rumors of wars. We just had an earthquake, the earthquakes in diverse places. We had an earthquake in New York. That's very rare to see. So that's been happening. Then on top of it, you have Israel and Iran, which is the major conflict that's going to bring about the war of Armageddon. All right. So what's going to happen before that? The hour of temptation. All right. And this is something that we consistently make mention of, because without the scope of prophecy, without being able to look at the world through prophecy, you're going to be lost, because you're not going to know what's happening. We are not losing our minds over what's happening with Iran and Israel. We are excited about it, but we're not losing our minds about it, or worried or scared, because we know, first of all, the end, it is very close. But there is that mark of the beast that has to be made mandatory, which is that implantable device. Once that happens, that's when it's going to go. Shortly after that is when it's going to go full on Armageddon, nuclear Armageddon. All right. The missiles are going to fly, the arrows of Yahweh Ba'ashem Yahushai. All right, as pursuant to 2nd Ezra, the 16th chapter. But it says here, Revelation 3:10, I'm going to read it again. Because thou hast kept the word of my patience, I also will keep thee from the hour of temptation, which shall come upon all the world to try them that dwell upon the earth. Right, to try them. Try means to what? To test. All right, so everybody's going to be tested, but only the elect is going to come out. The elect of the nation of Israel is going to come through that test and become perfected and receive salvation at the end of it. Behold, I come quickly. Hold that fast which thou hast, that no man take thy crown. And right, and behold, I come quickly hits even harder. It hits even harder in a year. Right now we're in 2024. All right. And prophecy is not letting up, man. You know, the brother Baquar, shalom to you, brother, did a lesson mentioning that, you know, there was a time not long ago where prophecies would be coming every so often. You know, prophecies would be like, you know, you might have some major stuff happen every few months. Now it's like every week, every other week, you got major things popping off. So we got to measure the time diligently to know the time that we're living in. Okay, we see the signs, we see the prophecies, we see everything that we need to know that we're at the end. That's why, what does it come back to? It comes back to us and examining ourselves to make sure we're in the faith and that we're doing the right things to the best of our ability. Okay, this is the time to have our eye more single than ever. Okay, and to continue to build in the faith, because remember, we ain't out the woods yet. You know, we are going into the time of trouble, and yes, we know the scriptures say that my servant shall eat. The scripture says many things about the diligent service of Yahweh Shem Yahshua, but we have to make sure that we are giving diligence to make our calling of election sure, so that we could be counted worthy to escape these things, right? As it is written. But the Lord said he's coming quickly. Hold that fast which thou hast, which is what? This truth. Hold it tight. Okay? And we're rapidly approaching the time of finding out who the prophets are, because the only ones that's been declaring the full breakdown of World War III, you know, who are the Iranians being the Persians, the Russians being the Medes. All right, it's only been the brothers, man, from the apostles on down. The brothers of the 100% truth have been breaking these things down. Okay, people have scoffed, people have mocked, people have made, you know, have slandered, right? But we will be, you know, we have been and we will be, if the Lord allows us to continue in this thing, fools. All right, we will be fools for Yahshua's sake, but it's not going to be for long, man. The scripture says that our sorrow will be turned to joy. Okay, so continue to endure hardness as a good soldier for Yahweh Shem Yahushai. All right, this is just a quick hit. You know, I'm on the road, and hey, prophecy is banging up. Prophecy is shaking this world up, man. Okay, prophecy is loud and clear, and if you have eyes to see and ears to hear, those of you of the household of faith, you ought to know. You do know what time we're in. Okay, because all the game plan and the nonsense, and the Lord's about to put an end to this bullshit kingdom, man. All right, the Lord is about to put an end to this wicked kingdom, this vile, filthy, disgusting kingdom. All right, so for Wadi Yahweh Shem Yahushai by Shem Wadash, for making good on his promise and making good on his word. Hey, the scripture says, you know what? I'll close out with that. Because I was in traffic just now, so I was able to read a few precepts, but things are kind of picking up. So yeah, it's kind of slow a little bit. I can tell it's about to speed up though. Let me go ahead and grab this. In the book of Isaiah 55:11, it says, so shall thy word be that goeth forth out of my mouth. It shall not return unto me void, but it shall accomplish that which I please, and it shall prosper in the thing whereto I sent it. So the Lord's word does not go out void. The Lord's word accomplishes what the Lord determined for it to accomplish. And we're seeing the fulfillment of that. Okay, who else has been declaring World War III? Who else has been keeping an eye and diligently watching all these things? Who else has been warning about the prophecy of the mark of the beast? Here it is this year alone. Did not Elon Musk do human trials on the Neuralink? And mind you, they've already been doing this shit behind the scenes for years, man. Now they're just slowly seeping it in to pop culture, into the mainstream, so that they can chip away at the people's minds so that they'll be ready to accept it. But hey, man, things can change in an instant. Things can change very quickly, man. Very quickly. We saw that with the demic a few years back, and we're going to see it again because things are going to start popping real quick now. We're in again, Spirit been on me to say this a few times. We're in the playoffs, man. All right, we're in the spiritual playoffs, the spiritual exam, the final. All right, and this is not the time to be dilly dallying. This is not the time to be knuckle dragging. Okay, now is definitely not the time to be playing around, man. All right, to not be taking this truth serious. All right, so we ought to examine ourselves. But with that, I'm gonna let this lesson come to an end. I'm gonna end this lesson through the spirit and power of Yahweh Hashem Yahweh Shai. Lord's will was edifying. The Wadi Yahweh Hashem Yahweh Shai by Hashem Dash for putting the spirit on me to do this lesson. Again, his word does not go out void. Hey man, things are popping off. It's beautiful. Beautiful times we're living in, and we are blessed to witness these times. So I'm gonna go ahead and end it and give all praise, glory, and honor to Yahweh, Bahashem, Yahweh Shai, Bahashem Dash. Hey, shalom to the next one.